Hey everyone, hope you're all doing well. Today we have a bit of news about a new game and studio that's just been announced in the last few days and that we think you're going to want to pay attention to. So without further delay, let's get straight into the details. So first up there's the studio, which is called Archetype Entertainment. They've only come to light in the last few days and that's because they are pretty new. Well, according to how long they've been signed up to Twitter for. Although we suspect they've probably been around for a few months more. The studio is based in Austin, Texas, is a AAA studio, and is an autonomous division of Wizards of the Coast, who are known for Magic the Gathering and Dungeons & Dragons amongst other things. Interesting that the term autonomous is used, as this literally means having the freedom to govern itself or control its own affairs. To me this seems like a reference to how a certain publisher would step in and make changes to a game that nobody really wants. Whoever could they mean? What's been interesting about researching this new studio over the last couple of days is that they seem to know what and how they're going to go about making games from the get-go. Apart from the bits we've already mentioned above, here's what they have to say. Our goal is to create the greatest story-driven role-playing games in the world. Archetype is an autonomous division of Wizards of the Coast. We are assembling a world-class team to build a multi-platform role-playing game set in a new science fiction universe. At Archetype we believe there will always be a place for story-driven role-playing games that put the player at the centre of an epic personal narrative with impactful choices. We are building games that represent the diversity of our audience. We also believe that game studios should empower top developers and challenge them with ambitious projects that are shaped by a strong, clearly communicated creative vision. I wonder what they could be talking about. While reading this does give us confidence in their plans, the interesting line is that last one. We also believe that game studios should empower top developers and challenge them with ambitious projects that are, and I say this in a very clear statement, shaped by a strong, clearly communicated creative vision. With the well-known development issues that were revealed after both Mass Effect Andromeda and Anthem released, specifically about not having much clear direction in story and other areas until later in development, this statement is clearly saying they want to avoid a repeat of that and have a clear vision of what they want to create from the outset, which can only be a good thing. It's still early days, but as written in the title and the thumbnail for this video, former BioWare devs have the most prominence in this announcement. First is James Olan, who is the head of the studio and has worked as creative director and lead designer on Star Wars The Old Republic, worked on Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, Neverwinter Nights and Dragon Age. Moving on we have Chad Robertson, who is general manager and has also worked on The Old Republic as well as Anthem. Next we have Tal Peleg, who will be the cinematic director and has worked on Uncharted, The Last of Us, Dead Space 2, Mass Effect Andromeda and Anthem. Next is Rico Flores, who will be the lead animator and has worked on Uncharted 4 and Anthem. And finally we have Drew Karpyshyn, writer of the Chaosborn trilogy, Darth Bane and Mass Effect novels, as well as being the lead writer on Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic and Mass Effect. These are the only people that have been confirmed as of the time of writing this script, but I'm sure that a bunch more people will be added over time. On the Archetype website there are already some pieces of concept art for us to check out, although some of it is somewhat obscured by the text and other such things on the site. Luckily I found some clearer versions for us to look at. I'll let them scroll in the background so you can see what they look like. The comparisons to Mass Effect will be apparent, but I don't see that as a bad thing. Even if you weren't a fan of Andromeda, a huge amount of people still love and play the original trilogy today, because of the world and the universe that was created and the memorable characters that we still think about to this day. If Archetype want to create something just as rich and deep, but something new and fresh while avoiding the mistakes of their former employers, I really do hope they succeed. I'm not going to go into deep analysis of these concept pictures at this point, at least not right now, as we are at the very beginning of this studio's journey, and this is pretty much all that's been mentioned so far about this studio and the game, so there's really not a lot of detail going on at this particular point in time. But we are excited to see the announcement of Archetype's new sci-fi RPG, whenever that may be. But that's it for this video. Let us know what you think and hope for this new studio down in the comments. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing. We also stream on Twitch a few times a week as well, if you fancy chatting with us while playing video games. Link is in the description below. Again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again very soon.